Hello, my name is Lucas. This is Bit of Lit, and I'm here to talk about a book I read a couple weeks ago. And that would be Wayside School Gets a Little Stranger, which is a fun, lovely little book by Louis Sacher. I might have already talked about it a couple years ago. I don't remember, but I read it for class. I was talking about it with my students, and it's quite funny. It's the second novel, I believe, in the Wayside School series, and it is a delight. It's full of really great humor, and really all of the books are well worth it to read, especially for children. But even as an adult, yeah, it's fun to read. I'm not necessarily recommending it for adults. I just want to praise this book because it's really funny. It's the second one in the series, and it has Mrs. Jules, who is the teacher on the 30th floor of these students. Wayside School has finally opened back up thanks to Louis, the yard teacher, or what is his role? I forgot. Anyway, he changes the sign and lets all the students in, and they're all really excited to finally come back. And unfortunately for them, Mrs. Jules is pregnant, and she's got to go away because she's gonna have a little baby. The little baby gets a little stranger. He is the stranger. Meanwhile, the children are faced with all kinds of horrible substitute teachers. Mrs. Drizzle, who seems quite sweet, but has a beef with Louis, their schoolyard teacher, and they can't handle that. They have Mr. Gorf as well, who uses his nose to steal their voices away and punish them because in the first book they made Mrs. Gorf turn herself into an apple and she was done away with. And who is the other teacher? There's another teacher. Well, they get rid of Mrs. Drizzle because they find this really horrible student that wrote a letter and sort of do away with her for that. But I think the other one is Mrs. Nogard, who has a third ear and can hear everything that people say, which is not a great skill to have necessarily because she can tell when people are being insincere. They say something, but they're thinking another. And so she punishes the children and makes them feel bad at any moment that she possibly can. And then eventually Mrs. Jules comes back. And she's got a little stranger, a little baby. The humor is extremely strange and very metafictional. There's really great one-off chapters very early on, and then sort of once you get to chapter 11, it's sort of narratively focused. There's a chapter where the kids are writing poems and one of the kids they have to write a poem about a color, and one of the teacher gives an example, and the one kid asks, "Can you repeat that?" And then he just writes down the example. And then there's another one where it's pet day and all the kids bring their pets, but the names that the pets have makes it so confusing, and there's just a lot of wordplay that doesn't really make sense unless you're reading it out loud. That makes some jokes and makes it clear why the kids heard something And, oh, you're talking about this animal. I can't explain it. It's like a who's on first kind of joke, turned up to 11. It's amazing. And then there's a great chapter, story 19. The 19th floor doesn't exist, and Mrs. what's her name? Quarves or something? She doesn't teach there. She teaches there. And there's a missing cow who happens to be on floor 19, which does not exist. And this is a little nice metafictional thing about a teacher who feels underappreciated. Yeah, I don't know. I just really love Wayside School. And I'm wondering if anybody else read these books when they were coming out. I know a new one came out 2 years ago or so. I was reading it with I picked it up to show some of my students on the last day of our classes, and they were like, "This one's boring." I like the other one. Which is fine. But anyway, also lots of jokes require a lot of knowledge of the prior books. So, if you haven't read the first one, you don't need to, but it makes the reading experience richer. They're not really books for kids. I mean, they're not really books for adults, but they're really great fun, can be enjoyed by anybody. And I love it. So, thank you.